The Queen of Soul's biopic, Respect, is in theaters now, and there's already Oscar buzz for its star, Jennifer Hudson. Aretha Franklin handpicked Hudson to play the role. Here's a look at her work and our Studio 5 conversation. So, Jennifer, you were actually handpicked by Aretha Franklin to play this role. Do you have an early memory of her?
Wow. I mean, Aretha has always been there. So I can't say exactly what my earliest memory of hearing her music, but again, it's always been there for me. Maybe even unconsciously so. Like, I grew up in a church singing, and I didn't realize until doing research for the film how much her music was a blueprint in the gospel that we were singing in church. So she's always been there, even without me knowing it.
So from the early years to now, here you are portraying Aretha Franklin. How did you prepare emotionally, physically, and musically to become the Queen of Soul?
You first of all can't just wake up and say, I'm going to be the Queen of Soul. It takes a lot of preparation. I work with amazing people in the production, such as dialect coach Tom Jones, acting coach Leland Thompson. Everything played a role in that to develop the character of her. Also being able to know her as well and draw from that, which causes you to care that much more in your delivery of telling such a story. And then musically, that I feel like came first before anything, and is always the introduction for me. In any role that I play, music is always the introduction. So I kind of had a head start with that portion because I've always been a fan of Aretha as well.
As we know, the world shut down because of the pandemic, but now this movie is being released at a time that people can actually see it in the theater. What does that mean?
I am so excited to see Respect come to theaters and that it will bring people together. Aretha brought everybody together in her life through her music, so it's only befitting for everyone to come out to celebrate the Queen in theaters together, celebrating her life. So I'm so excited to see the world be a part of that celebration and honor her in the way she should be.
This film's director, Lisa Tommy, has a musical theater background, and I know you've done Broadway as well. What was she like as a director?
Lisa was like a huge key piece in the making and how Respect was made. I think bringing in her theater background and then her amazing direction and perspective gave the film its own unique elements to make it its own, which was necessary to tell the story of the Queen of Soul. She was a true musician, and it came from real life events, and I feel as though Lisa brought those real textures into it by adding real musicians to honor the Queen and allowing it to breathe in real time, which made it that much more authentic and very similar to how theater is done but brought to screen.
A big thing that you and Aretha Franklin have in common is growing up singing in the church. Talk about those similar paths that you two walked.
Oh my God, first of all, just being from the church and people knowing that as a Christian is liberating, and I love that. But for it to be said that both Aretha and I have that similar background is even more like beyond for me. But I think it was the most important factor in this whole thing. Her faith was important to have present in the film, and it was my faith that got me through the film to be able to do it. So that's the premise across the board, the bookends for both of us.
In this film, you show us Aretha at her lowest, but you also show us Aretha in some really joyful times. What did you take away when learning about that joy? What did it teach you?
Wow. You love to see your hero shine. And so to see, it's so much, it inspires me so much to see an icon, a legend, someone I look up to and still look up to, like the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, prevail and go after her dreams and succeed in that from the treasure that's within her. That makes me want to discover my own that much more, and it increases my drive and hunger to want to do it. And that's the power of a role model and an icon such as Aretha Franklin.